Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Guys, Blade of the Immortal. Wow. Um, I definitely shed a tear at the end of this, knowing that 90 years have passed by at the very end. Just kind of gives you an indicator how much things happened, and not almost things happened, but just that my theory was right in the case that this man was definitely going to be somewhere, and that somewhere just happened to be all the way in the future of Japan's history and stuff like that. So if they don't give me another season of this show, continuation, even if they gotta make it up as they go, no. Um, I really would love to see that though. Anything coming out of this show after what we just experienced would be amazing. And I'm pretty glad I stuck with it. I'm glad that things played out the way that they relatively make sense, besides maybe a couple parts. Just seeing how ridiculously powerful some of these characters are, it makes you question, how realistic was some of this stuff that played out. But at the same time, it was amazing. Not only did we see one of the most cheapest ways to win against a blind person, um, we got to just see how much effort and focus our main girl had put into her actual goal, her actual seeing everything come through at the end, and actually being able to say, I avenged my family and they can live on now. Which draws the narrative to the point of the kid who still can't do that with his father, seeing how she's alive and she's the one that took the father's life with the Maji-san. So it's those types of funny instances that you're kind of like, oh, well, even though she's got a happy ending, she leaves a lot of people with questionable endings, and that's where the show really starts to just show everybody in what they're kind of doing before they even give us the answer of what happened at the end. So after the shots from last week's episode, we get right into seeing a little bit of a flashback of what or how long it's been that these two have been connected. The one who is the leader of this, disgusting people that we are trying to get revenge on, and we're just seeing how long of a relationship him and this girl that is risking it all for him, even after being shot up and taking out all of those people who, in my opinion, had a really high chance of taking his life. Seeing how they had a great advantage over him, they already took, a couple shots where sure they didn't hit, but I don't see them missing over and over and over though, as much as they did, at the beginning, including if they had to run in like a straight line to get to them. Everything was going hunky dory, and then next thing you know, they just get shot out of nowhere. And mind you, they were on nobody's team from what we could see. They wanted both sides dead, so they took shots at both of them and wind up losing before either one of them are out. So to think that they got all pretty much obliterated by one woman who's already been through the ringer before they shot her up was just telling of how ridiculous she was. So I love that. Giving us more and more concrete evidence of how outmatched these people were and just how much they should have already quit ahead of the time, but because of how things are, now they don't get the chance to quit. You won't even get the chance. And it was a wrap. So I'm loving what we're getting in this show. It just kind of harps back to my main point of everything that happened in this show always kind of led back to us in the end. So whoever you do wrong, whoever you lied to or whatever, they seemingly come back. So it's not really worth it um, in this show because they usually don't die or they, like I said, they come back like, oh boy, who lost like both of his arms and everything, and he still is like, yeah, I'm back. But for instance, we see the little kid who didn't get to take out the person that took out her father, and he's kind of made, he still hasn't made amends with her, and I think that was very, very cool for the artist that we, had help from in the very beginning of the show to kind of chime in on is, can you forgive her now? Like, are you ever going to let go of this grudge and, live your life without this hatred? And he pretty much said, I don't know. Like, I still don't know. And it's those things of knowing that she's out there, I'm guessing, is the real part that irks him or whatever, because she's out there living while she's the one that took in your father, but then he had to have learned more and more about what his father was actually a part of. Mind you, his father being one of the people who actually were the, like, main reason why the people had bad names in the first place. I don't know how much he actually heard about that, because she didn't tell him out of her mouth. So how would he know that he does what he does unless some other people survived and experienced it and told him, So it was a very well put together end for everybody, just to kind of put it as like, oh, and then these characters wound up like this or wound up like that, and that was kind of all they needed to be said. But for the 90 years thing and just how much of a crazy moving thing it was for me was the fact that Shireen, winds up having family and kids, and her kids have kids, and her kids have kids and kids. But yet, for some reason now, wherever she has, had her first couple of kids, her next, like, her great great granddaughter is in like a same position where now her daughter has to flee and has to try to live while there's people trying to, like, outright, hunt her down, pretty much like we've seen for the main character, which it was just a harping back to everything coming full circle. But this time, instead of Maji being the slayer of 100 evildoers, he's a slayer of 1,000. So it's just kind of a continuation of everything and giving us the information that he has still been doing what he's been doing, and for some reason they're getting to the era where swords were outlawed to be swung. Like, you just can't do that because swords were the main cause of just so many lives being taken away within the country. It would be like taking away guns from Americans, and taking guns away from anybody at this point, because guns are so ridiculously important to governments and armies and stuff like that. You can understand why they don't want just normal people having them in other countries. So 90 years in the future, and our boy Maji is about to do the same thing he's already gone through, but with a much, much younger girl than the one that he was dealing with in the first place. So it's going to be a whole lot rougher when it comes down to getting out of situations. But with all this time that's gone by, if I'm going to say that he hasn't got any stronger or better at what he's done since then, it would be hard to say that. But to hear that he has forgotten the names of the people that he truly helped and cared for and stuff like that was so powerful, because as soon as he shows his pinky to the girl and she's like, what's wrong with your pinky, it all of a sudden ringed in a bell in his head and told him exactly what the girl's name was that he was traveling with. And I can only imagine how much it either felt to him or didn't, because he doesn't really show the emotion on his face that it was something so surprising, you know. But at the same time, for me, it is like she went and had a whole full-blown family. We don't even know who it was that she had her family with. It probably was some random person anyway, but still, we didn't even get to see any of that, and they know that. They know how they did us. But if we ever got another season of him taking care of this girl, I would love to see it, and I would watch it. So, with all that being said, everybody, or I would do videos for it. I will talk to you in the next one. So, I just want you to know that things are going to be changing, like I've made a video about. And for the real ones, I know you guys just want to hear it. What I'll be doing, I'll be posting on Twitter and Anime at Mimo way quicker than I will on YouTube, and then I'll just happen to make YouTube videos later at night because I just need to be up early and out for like a whole day, pretty much, depending on how things go with this whole uh, pandemic and stuff like that. But as of now, I'm still going to be working and getting stuff done. So with all that being said, everybody, I hope you have an amazing day, night, evening. Stay safe, and thank you for the support. It means the world to me because I get to just talk to the best community of people that clearly don't judge each other or even me for what I watch, because the only reason why you're here is because you're either watching it too or you want to tell me about something you want me to watch. So I appreciate it. I will definitely talk to you sooner than later. So with all that being said, take care and peace.